guys, so I'm here with another recipe book, but we're gonna do things a little different today. First, I'm gonna flip through, give you my overall impressions, and then we're gonna attempt to make one of the recipes together. So here we go. This is Cuba, Recipes and Stories from the Cuban Kitchen by Dan Goldberg, Andrea Kuhn, and Jody Eddy. And it is by 10 Speed Press Publishers. The photography is really nice in here. The only caveat I have about the whole book is that if you're a little squeamish, some of the photos are a touch gruesome. But it's real, it's how they cook. The example I'm thinking of is there are some dead goat's heads. I could have done without having those in this cookbook, but that said, the recipes are really good. The recipes that I've tried so far, the photography is really good. The layout of the book is very pretty. So let's see if we can just give you a little flip through. There's some of the culture and the people, and then there's some of the dishes themselves. Here's one I want to try, but I haven't yet. It's papas rellenas. So it's kind of like a Cuban version of a Scotch egg, it seems like to me. Inside is the picadillo, and then mashed potatoes, and then breadcrumbs. Haven't tried this one yet. Codfish fritters, poblano sauce. This is one we did try, the ropa vieja sliders. They were so good. And then these pickled onions, that's one that I've tried. I don't know if I'm doing a very good job of showing you where you can see. There's a lot of fish. I'm not really much of a fish person, but the recipes that aren't fish seem like they're really good. Let's see. This one's a pretty good catch. The chicken is flying across the kitchen. Some soups and things. Let's see here. I was gonna show you the goat's heads, so cover your eyes if you don't want to see, but just so you know what I'm talking about here. Yeah, this I could have done without. But if you're okay with this kind of thing, if you like the raw, real side of Cuban cuisine, then you'll love this. And then, so the recipe that we're going to make today, you can open your eyes now if you've been hiding them. Let me see, maybe I should have marked it in advance. But we are going to make a tres leches cake. If I can find the picture to show you. Yeah, coconut tres leches cake. It looks delightful. So I do not have an assistant to help me today. I'm here by myself. So I'm gonna move around the tripod, maybe handheld hold the camera's thumbs. This is not gonna be like some artistic projector type video, but just a loose little vlog. We're gonna make this recipe together. So we're gonna attempt to see if you guys can see what I'm doing here. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna preheat the oven to 350. A little too far. Okay, then we're going to whisk together 1.5 cups of flour, 1.5 teaspoon of baking powder. I'm about to need some more baking powder. 1.5 teaspoons of salt. Okay, there's a teaspoon. Have to pardon all my clanging over here. My other countertop was not conducive to making the camera fit. Okay, so we're just whisking this together. And then we're gonna set that to the side. So we're gonna cream together the butter, the sugar, and the vanilla. A cup of sugar. I'm gonna try and not be quite as obsessive to perfection here. Okay, so there's the sugar, and that's gonna go in there. Okay, that goes in here. A teaspoon of vanilla. Okay, then we're gonna add our eggs. Gonna add a little bit at a time. Okay, so now that we've got all of that incorporated, we're going to grease a 9 by 13 inch baking dish and put it in there. Okay, this is the size it calls for, but I just cannot see this working out well for us. So I'm going to switch it to a smaller dish. Okay, I feel like we wasted some of the batter, but what can you do? So now we're gonna spread it out in this pan. I'm gonna have to watch because it still seems pretty thin for a cake. Thought this would be a little bit thicker, so I don't want it to burn. So the toothpick went in and came out clean. Now this has to cool for 10 minutes. Meanwhile, I'm going to whisk together the 3 different types of milk. We're gonna be using La Lechera sweetened condensed milk, coconut milk, is that focused? And evaporated milk. Might as well have a cup of tea while we're waiting. So now that it's cooled, we're going to poke a zillion tiny holes. Now we're going to slowly pour the tres leches. So I don't know if we've done something wrong here because there's definitely more cake showing out of the top. And yet, we have all of this left. Well, more cake's showing out the top now. But it also didn't seem to fit the sized baking dish that the recipe called for. But I think I'm gonna stop pouring so it's not just like a soup. And then this is going to be covered and it has to sit in the refrigerator for a whole day so we don't get to taste it until tomorrow. But through the magic of the YouTubes, that will be right now. Okay, I had some camera issues. The camera wasn't on earlier when I was filming, but just a little comparison to the photo. It's kind of similar. It sat in the fridge overnight. I've added some toasted coconut flakes. It also said that we could add mango, but I couldn't find a good one of those. So I am really blue. I just have a little piece here to try. It's really sweet. And kind of the first thing it reminds me of is cereal milk. You know how if you have a really sugary cereal, the milk gets all sugary and flavorful? But yeah, really good, really different. It's like a serious poke cake. Like when I was growing up, we'd have the cake where we poked it with toothpicks and then we drizzled Jell-O over it. Melted Jell-O, not the hard stuff, obviously. But this is not just have a little bit of moisture in it, it is soaked completely through. So let me know if you've had a tres leches cake like this before or what your favorite dessert is, and I'll put a link to the cookbook down below. See you next time. Cheers!